Hi everyone, welcome back to Jelly S.O.S. And I'm Kelly and this is,
Jean, hello, welcome back.
yeah. In the last episode, we talked about why do I not see success in my career, even though I worked so hard. So we highlighted a few points and then, but we didn't have time to finish it off. So we decided to do a continuation from where we last left off, right, Jean?
Yeah. So in the last episode, we talked about, I think, appreciation and the feelings of undervalued. We gave like some solutions. In the previous episode, like how do I feel appreciated by my superior, and how do I feel valued? So today, we promised you a solution. So Kelly's going to tell us what exactly we promised you.
Right. We talked a little bit about being undervalued, and we talked about promotion because there's no correlation between the two, right? So technically, we can have somebody who do a lot and get valued but still doesn't get promotion. It could happen, right? Someone who get valued but doesn't get promotion. So then what we said is a separate seed to get promotion. So we need to plant the seeds of promotion. So then today we're going to talk a lot more into other points that Jean mentioned that what about someone who do more and then someone who gets to do all the dirty job and someone who keep working overtime.
Yeah, so that's what we promise is that how can we solve these problems? Meaning, I'm doing more than my colleagues. I'm doing the dirty job and I'm doing a lot of overtime, right? And to me, all these 3 points are not my idea of success in my career. So how can I not do all 3 of this and still be successful and be promoted?
Right. Cool. That's the important point to take note there. Right. So let's look at the part about doing more than your colleagues. Jean, do you have any take on that?
I feel immediately, okay, when we talk about in our last episode that doing more, why is there even like this measurement of more? There is a measurement of doing more is because I'm comparing it to somebody else doing less. But if I understand that why my superior give me more responsibilities, right? If I see it in a different perspective, it could be because it's precisely because my superior value me and trust me. Therefore, my superior, assigns me this extra work, doing more work. But the key is that there is, I feel, okay, maybe you can tell me whether I'm going on the right track. There is a comparison between 2 things. One, against what I've done previously, my current amount of workload, adding more stuff to it, therefore I'm doing more, okay?
Yeah.
And therefore I feel like, what? But then there's also another way of comparing, which is on top of my current workload, my superior gives me more work to do. I look at what other people are doing. They are doing less than me. So I feel uncomfortable.
So the feeling of imbalance, that feeling of imbalance.
Like, can I do less, but then why should I be the one? Why me?
Right. I think that's a good point to highlight there. And I would also take it from the point of perspective of like growth, personal growth. If like say the things that I do more is something that I don't want, then I think most of the time we have that feeling of imbalance. But if there's something that I think that I can learn more and grow in, then that probably can bring me somewhere else. You know, that's a growth for what do you call it? Another bandwidth for me to grow into to do more things or something that I can learn so that my spectrum of work scope can expand and then I can more portfolio that kind of
so
thing.
Do I see it like I just want to add on to what you say, is like, do I see it as a burden? Like, dang, on top of what I'm doing, you're giving me more. Like, I don't want to do less and get my job done. Or do I see it, like you said, is like, do I see it as an opportunity to expand my limits of me, growing as a person, growing my skill sets, expanding my mental capacity, my bandwidth, whatever you call it, and grow, you know, like growth mindset.
And career path, expanding
Yeah,
a
yeah,
career path.
yeah. Like, you know, like,
Uh,
oh, I can do more, but not in terms of just
yeah,
the workload, but in terms of the difficulty, the
yeah, yeah,
difficulty of that work that's given. Can I challenge myself? And do I
right,
see it as an opportunity, or do I see it
right,
as a problem?
right. So I think so. There's two approaches that we can look at it from. One is a personal perspective. How do you see it? And then the other one is the feeling that you get. Like I feel imbalanced. That how come I have to do more and my colleagues have to do less, and yet we get the paid same amount. That kind of feeling. So that could also from the feeling perspective and from your own personal perspective. How do you take it in that way? Of course, if you do it from perspective whereby I take it as a personal growth that I can take on, then, but if I feel I cannot manage so many things, then is there a point whereby you can negotiate with the boss that I would love to take on this, but maybe there's some other things that I can lighten the load a little bit so that I can focus more on this. I think there's always a point that you need to, you can negotiate with the boss. But if, of course, if your boss doesn't or your superior doesn't listen to you, then that's a different thing that we have to talk about as well. Yeah. So then understanding with the right motivation that I can take this on and learn more, then that's a healthy, I think a healthy mindset. Because every time when we think like that, we are opening up like we are planting more seeds to be able to be a more capable person in a sense. And then if you feel imbalanced, like you're comparing me and my coworker, then it could also be that we have to think about whether how uh, at other areas are we also being fair to people, you know, are we treating people fairly? I like this person, I give them more. I don't like this person, I give them less. It could be that aspects as well. Well, what do you think, Jean? Do you have a personal take on that?
I think sometimes it goes back to home. I think it's so easy to look at what's going on at home because it's like a space that is a place that we are so familiar with. Could it be that
Yeah.
I am I'm not doing what I should be doing at home?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether that makes sense. Especially as a couple, I guess. Like, you know, if you're married, I think most married couples would have this constant squabble over the, you know, the workload, the imbalance in the workload. Could we look from there?
Oh, so which means your point of view is moving towards a dirty job. Like you feel like I'm doing all the dirty job, and then like somebody else is not, and I feel like I'm doing all the stuff that nobody wants to do.
Did
If
I
you're
miss
coming
a
from that,
point somewhere from your previous point that I took it to the next point?
yeah, kind of. But we can look at it from similar point of view as well. If you have that same feeling like I have to do more than my colleagues, and then I feel like I am doing all the dirty job. That could be also
But I think
another.
that's subtle in the sense that maybe like at home, I feel like I'm doing so much more at home in terms of like, you know, I contribute to the household allowance. I do the dishes. I take the kids to school. I take the kids home from school. I cook dinner.
Yeah.
I don't probably I don't see it as a dirty job, but I do feel that in terms of the workload, I'm doing way more.
Right.
Or way less. I don't know. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how do we?
It could be in that like what your direction is moving is pretty close to it. Like, why do we feel like I do more at work? Could
It's
possibly
because
also
maybe
be
at home I do less.
exactly.
It's the opposite,
That's
right?
one.
Like, for example, like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. So maybe
Yeah.
I kind of like push the workload to
Yeah. You
somebody
don't take
else.
care of anything at home.
Like, I'm a
You
boss,
don't.
but this is like
Yeah.
so, oh my God, okay. But
So,
like, you know,
so you could be a boss at home that you don't do anything, and that's where when you come to work and you see everybody putting workload onto you to do something. So you don't share responsibility, you don't share work at home, and then you see that impact
right,
coming in work environment that all the work comes to you without
right.
other people sharing the workload. So that could be the feeling of
Yeah, I just want
imbalance.
to touch a point about the idea of more and less before we move on to the idea of dirty job. Is that, you
Right.
know, like we always feel like, let's say there's this comparison going on that I do more than my colleagues who's doing less, right? But sometimes we don't see it from their point of view as well. We don't know what our colleagues are going through, that maybe they're not feeling like, yeah, he gets more of the job. Haha, I can Skype and take my paycheck and do
They
less.
probably feel the same. They
Or
probably feel the same.
They probably feel different. They probably feel like, you know, am I not valued enough? That's why my boss don't trust me to give me more work. Why am I paid to do such meaningless work? Or why am I paid to do such trivial and, you know, unimportant work? You know, I want to do more. It's kind of strange.
And it could also mean that they could also be feeling exactly the same as you. They can
feel that they're doing too much.
Yes. It could also be feeling that they're doing too much. You never know. You know, because the idea of feeling is also coming from your
That's true as well. So then it moves on to the next part that we want to talk about, doing the dirty job, right? It's literally, if you feel like you're doing the dirty job that nobody else wants or can do, there are two different things, want and can do, at a work environment, then you need to look into your own life. Is there any areas that you are assigning the dirty job to somebody else? Because you see it as a dirty job, that's why you assign it to somebody else.
Right. So it could be very small things that we do at home or at work, very subtle things. You know, you just can drink a cup and then you just leave it by the basin or by the, then leave it there for somebody else to do the cleaning up for you. And you're not like being mindful about making sure you clean up after yourself. That's the thing, like small things like that. And then you will see people leaving dirty jobs for you to do. So
I think it's the classic example, right? Of not doing, not cleaning up after yourself, or like not cleaning up after, like, say, a group party, or like, you know, not cleaning up after a dinner. You know, like I'm sure Kelly heard of this, that we have a colleague and a friend, right, Penny, who said that most people, okay, they love cooking in the sense like the preparation process from the beginning, but nobody likes to clear up at the end. Nobody likes to be the one throwing the rubbish. Nobody likes to be the one cleaning the tables. Nobody likes to be the one washing all the dishes because it's dirty
job.
But he's amazing because he chooses to do the dirty job. He feels that it's a perfect opportunity to right there, an opportunity to plant seeds, to have a group or a team of supportive team members who will support him in everything that he does.
Yeah. So it's all back to motivation. If you have the right motivation with the seeds that you want to plant, so you can find small things to do in everyday life to be, you know, getting the opportunity to plant the seed that you want. So simple things like that, washing the dishes or cleaning the toilet when nobody wants to do it, but you can be planting a capable assistant for that. You never know. Right? Because nobody wants to do it, but you do all that stuff so that you can see someone who's willing to do all the dirty job for you too, right? That's so cool.
So it also reminds us that, you know, why am I even seeing a dirty job? I'm seeing something as dirty because I've planted the seeds in the past to see a dirty job. So I'm actually given the opportunity right now to fix it, right? But if I don't fix it, and I still see it as a dirty job and assign it to someone else, well, good luck. You're going to get more dirty jobs assigned to you at work. Like a lot of dirty jobs.
From everywhere, at home and at work.
Yeah, and you'll be like, stop giving me the dirty jobs. But the dirty job is trying to tell you to do something, you know, to stop seeing dirty jobs. See an opportunity, right?
Yeah, exactly. And doing it happily is important. Like when you're doing it, you're happily doing it, and that plants this powerful seed to see more people are willing happily doing it.
I just want to share like a really funny example. It just came to my mind about dirty jobs. Yes. Okay, and you know, it's like years ago. I remember that, you know, my siblings and me, before my sister, you know, had our own family, and, you know, so there's three of us: my elder brother, me, and my younger sister. Okay. So we have this competition called piling your dishes. piling the dishes, okay? If the dishes don't topple, right, you win. And then the dishes get out of hand. The last person who encounters the dishes have to wash all of them. So because we see it as a dirty job. So guess what happened to all three of us? But anyway, so nowadays, like, you know, for me, I'm really excited because like now I see the opportunity to wash dishes. It's kind of okay. I do admit, like, sometimes I still leave the dishes there because my mom would say leave it there. Well, she will wash it, right? But there are times then I say no, I'll do it, mom, right? I was like, you know, especially after dinner, my mom always claims the responsibility and she says she will wash it, leave it there. And you know, we listen to her. But there are times when, you know, like lunchtime where we eat at our own random timings, and if I see dirty dishes, I'll wash all of them for sure. I wash my dish, I wash whatever I see in the sink. And I find it really fun because the next time when it happens to me, I always see an empty sink. I don't know how to explain that feeling, you know, like I don't see things as dirty job anymore.
That's a good seed to have.
Yeah, so stop competing to pile the dishes. Like, that's what I want to say out of my story.
Maybe you should move on to the
They will come back to you. Not in dishes, but in work. We're trying to say, like, you know, we won't come back as dishes. It'll come back as like lots of dirty jobs at work.
Yeah. Cool. Let's move on to the next point, overtime. What's your take on that?
I think people have this like negative connotation with overtime. Definitely. Yeah. Like they see that overtime means I have to do work that's out of my
working time.
Out of my you know, designated working hours and out of my comfort not comfort zone, that's like my boundaries. I feel maybe there's a boundary, like, you know, OT means like outside of the time designated for me to do my work, or space, if you see it, time, space, I don't know.
But I feel like it depends on feelings, because there are people who enjoy overtime.
Yeah, but then there's an argument is that maybe they enjoy the overtime is because they get like double pay, like, you know, like the 1.5 hours or 2 hours. That's one of the reasoning that some people will come back to you, Kelly, that because they enjoy it, because they get OT pay, overtime pay. But let's argue that there are people who enjoy doing overtime without extra pay.
Yeah, because they're passionate about their work, right? But then most people will feel imbalanced is when I have a fixed pay and I have to work overtime, but I still don't get paid. But then you will probably have that imbalanced feeling because I don't get paid overtime. And then that's where probably people will start feeling that I'm being taken advantage of.
But I feel that there's three things going on here. It doesn't look like it, but I feel there's three different things going on here. Three different seats, we call it, okay? One, overtime. Okay, 2, pay. What I'm doing, the extra time that I'm doing, it's not compensated for. So second one is pay. Third, I feel taken for granted. So let's talk about these three things, and then we have to sum up. Okay, so let's talk about
taking advantage. Being taken advantage. Sorry, the last point.
Yeah, the last one is being taken for granted. Advantage of, right? Taken advantage of. So let's talk about OT quickly. It's like overtime. What do you think, Kelly? Like, you know,
like
is it possible? Okay, is it possible that I don't do is there any way that I don't have to do overtime? Not because of the pay and not because of feeling taken advantage of, but I just don't want to have to do overtime because I need the time for my family. I have a family at home. I need to take care of my kids. I'm a mom. I have to take care of things. I have other stuff I need to do.
I think if you remember scenes like the pen, everything is coming from me, then it's the same thing that where's overtime coming from. And it depends on how you feel. If you feel that somebody like kind of overstepped my boundary because after work is my own personal time. And if like my superior or my work starts to take over and said that I have to work because I couldn't, you know, get things, this thing has to be rushed and I have to work overtime. And I feel like my boundary has been taken advantage of or has been overstepped, then I have to be very careful about respecting people's boundaries. So then
respecting other people's time, right?
Right, respecting people's time, respecting people's boundaries. Like in small ways, like whether are you texting people about work at night?
Or over the
You know, we
weekend.
have yeah, over the weekend, and then talking to someone about work at not the appropriate time.
Right.
Someone's over lunchtime, they're talking about work. So break is supposed to be a break.
Sounds like
And
somebody I know.
yeah, that's me. I'm confessing here, doing a 4 hours here anyway. So that's a reminder to myself, not to, I'm a workaholic anyway. So that's why I keep talking about work. So we have to be very careful about respecting people's off hours time during their relaxation time, not to be bogging people's mind about work. So that's where you don't feel like you keep having to work overtime a lot of the time. So respect people's time, and that's where you see people respecting your time.
Right.
That's important.
Sorry, I'm
What
just
about the
typing like a point. I'm just typing on a point that I found, a topic that I find would be appropriate for our upcoming episodes. It's about being a workaholic.
That's a good one for me. Right. You look like you're gloating over there.
No, I'm not gloating. I feel like that's a great topic because it is a situation that many people are going through, right? Right now, especially right now, that you're working from home. There is no clear, there's no clear demarcation between work and home.
Yeah, especially already we are like, home is our personal space. Then we are bringing our work into our personal space, and it's even more difficult to draw the line between work and home.
So let's go back. I'm sorry. Let's go back. But guys, look out for upcoming episode.
Yeah. So let's talk about the second point. So what was the second point that you mentioned?
Pay. I don't get compensated for the extra time that I put it in.
What's your point? What's your take on this?
There's no correlation. You want extra pay? Plant the seeds for money, right? Because that's what you want, right? If you want extra money for the time that you spent, then you need to go and plant your money seeds. Like, I think that could be another episode, right? In terms of success, in terms of monetary terms, we can talk in a separate episode. In terms of promotions with pay raises. So, but that's the key, that you also need to plant the seeds for money, and then direct the seeds to seeing your time over time being compensated for.
Right. I think this point also very much correlate to the third point that we're talking about, being taken advantage of. If you feel that I have to work overtime but not getting paid, possibly means, and you feel like you're being taken advantage of. Like, I'm working so hard, like additional projects that I have to do, but I'm not getting paid for it.
Right.
Then if you're being taken advantage of, then you have to be very careful about whether are you doing the same thing to other people in small ways in your daily life. Like, you go buy something, okay, you just give me more of these, more of that. So you're trying to take advantage of other people. Then the same thing, because we said seeds are very small. So all the small seeds that you plant on other people come back to you in massive ways. So you probably see your boss or your superior taking advantage of you for months, having to do additional projects and without paying you overtime. So that's something that you have to be very careful with. Yeah.
So then the question is that, how do I think most people will be interested to find out, is it possible that I, with the right intentions, okay, that I don't have to literally do more, as in I don't need to stretch myself out of my current capacity. I don't have to do dirty jobs. I don't have to do overtime, but still be successful. So can you give us like a quick wrap up for today's session?
I think, of course, when we understand, see, there are people who are already doing it, which means they don't have to do overtime, they don't have to do dirty jobs, and then they are feeling great about their work and don't do much, and they don't have to do overtime, and then they still get a promotion. So, which means it's possible, that because there's no correlation between all that the points that we talked about. So, if you have the seeds, you just have to plant what we mentioned, that take responsibilities for small things that we do at home. Right? And then you see people at work taking on responsibility for that. And then making sure you respect people's boundaries and respecting people's time. And then you will see that you don't have to work overtime without you wanting to do it, to do it, right? And then be mindful about not taking advantage of other people. And then you won't see like you being taken advantage of at home. And just plant the seeds of promotion. Recommend someone for promotion. Simple as that. And then you've got all the seeds that you've got.
So,
And then remember to coffee meditate. That's it. That's the important point.
be happy for what you do. Be happy. Like, good job. Celebrate your wins, you remember?
Yeah. So what are we going to talk about next week, Jean?
So next week, or next I'm sorry, like the next episode, right? We're probably going to, I haven't decided yet, but maybe we will continue on this topic of maybe why am I not seeing success in my career? Some other areas. I'll call it troubleshooting my success, okay? And then maybe in the upcoming episodes, I don't know, we haven't decided yet. Maybe Bill Gates, I don't know yet.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we can get some recommendations if they have any other interesting topic that people would like to hear. And then you can
send in.
Write to us. Yeah, send it in.
Send in. How do you send in again? Right, watch to the end of this video. You will see the Facebook page, okay, for DiamondX Global. Go to that Facebook page, like us, and send us a message, jelly sauce, and then leave us your comments. So we really look forward to hearing feedback from you.
Right. And see you guys.
Bye-bye. Till the next episode. Stay safe, have fun, smile, celebrate wins. Bye.
And stay tuned. Bye.